I truly believe you did not mean to do this. Right?
Can I just call my mom, please?
You can call your mom once you start telling me the truth.
But I have told you the truth. Why won't you
I
listen?
just need to know why you did this. All of this evidence. What do you think the judge is going to say? Identified you from a photo lineup. I think you just made a mistake. We can get through this. Pressured you into going along with it. Just tell me, Gabe, and you can call your mom.
Yes.
One of my classmates, Angela Correa, she had been murdered and she had been raped.
So I'm sitting there with my friends and I noticed a squad car pull up. They took me up to this very, very small room.
And from there, he launched into his third-degree tactics. So he invaded my personal space. He raised his voice at me. He kept asking me the same questions over and over again.
He slapped me in my face.
He kept that up for 6.5 to 7 hours.
As a young 16-year-old kid who's actually scared at this point.
I was in fear of my life.
I was being accused of committing a crime, a murder at that.
By the time everything was said and done, I had collapsed on the floor into a fetal position, crying uncontrollably.
I was eventually arrested at the age of 16 for a murder that I did not commit.
You create this environment of maximum stress.
It's part of the technique.
The number one interrogation practice that's used by law enforcement in this country is basically the accusatory approach.
The whole idea behind the Reid Technique, which the police, whether they acknowledge it or not, almost uniformly use, is
getting a confession.
The Reid Technique it's almost barbaric.
Most people believe they wouldn't confess to something they didn't do.
They've never been in that situation before. We have a very poor understanding in law enforcement about what our ethical obligations are.
A young detective named John Reid, he elicited a confession from Darryl Parker. Mr. Parker was innocent. The confession was false. That doesn't get mentioned as much, but it really kind of should.